Hey kids, my name is Chris and I am a Poképreneur. Now, month three, the recap, unfortunately leads into a bit of an epic dad fail. I mean, it sucks to fail in general, but when it's a dad fail, it's even worse. So here's what happened. September is month 3 for us. This was the very first month in our Poképreneurship journey. I say our because it's my son and I, right? Well, it's me doing it, but he benefits it because he loves Pokemon cards too. So anyways, this was the very first month in our journey where a new expansion was released. And we were hyped. We were excited. It was Evolving Skies. And a lot of PokeTubers were showing some pre-release stuff. Tons of hits, really great stuff. And I was like, oh, we're so jonesed and excited. We're pumped about it, right? So on release day, I called up the local game store from just down the road. And I was like, hey, do you guys have any Evolving Skies booster boxes? Like to buy one? And they're like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, no man, we don't have any. Like they're sold, pre-order. You got to pre-order. And I was like, oh right, Pokemon is crazy right now. Oh. And so anyways, so I called a few other places. Same thing, right? I should have planned ahead. I should have pre-ordered. I should have recognized that Pokemon is super popular right now. That when a new expansion comes out, things are going to go absolutely crazy. So anyways, so I said to the guy, I said, oh, okay, the next expansion coming out, Celebrations, can I get on pre-order for that? And he's like, no. I'm like, you just told me to pre-order, man. Like, what's going on? And he's like, if you wanted to pre-order for Celebrations, you should have pre-ordered in February like everybody else. And I'm like, oh man, Pokemon collecting is just, it's way too cutthroat at this point. And now I'm thinking to myself like, oh, do I get out? Am I done with this? Like, should I not be collecting cards anymore? Like, should my son and I find a different hobby? And so I hummed and hawed about it for a while, and I continued to watch a whole bunch of like, opening videos, try to get me pumped and hyped about it, but it was just like, I just couldn't do it. Until one day, it was late at night, and I was scrolling through some comments, and I forgot that I had actually entered a contest on one of the PokeTubers. So some of you might be familiar with PokeRev. He does box openings and pack openings, all the kind of crazy stuff. And he does wild and crazy stuff sometimes. Like the man is pretty intense at times and pretty exciting. There was this one video he did where it was the one chip challenge, right? He ate a chip and just kept it in his mouth for a certain length of time while opening packs and stuff. And he's just like this drooling. Anyways, I digress. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is that I entered one of his contests, and lo and behold, I actually won an Evolving Skies booster box that he opened up on his channel. So I was like, oh, that's great. Oh man, I was super excited about that. So that kind of like, it rekindled my excitement. I'm like, wait, this world isn't crazy and cutthroat. There's still other opportunities out there. You just need to find them, right? In this Pokemon world, it's not about going to the store and buying Pokemon cards. You can, but you have to beat the scalpers and all of the other people that are able to get up at like 6 a.m. or people who have inside knowledge and know when the shelves are being stocked. I'm not that guy. I can't do that. So I was excited about this. So that this kind of renewed my passion and my excitement. I'm like, yes, we can collect. We just need to be creative about it. So again, I touched base with actually a collector I used to buy bulk from, because I saw that he had a whole bunch of Evolving Skies booster boxes that he had pre-ordered. And so I said, hey man, do you have any bulk for sale? And he's like, yes, I do. So I bought a bunch of bulk from him. I saw another guy selling on Facebook Marketplace, and it turns out he had a bunch of bulk available. And then he actually opened some booster boxes, had some more bulk available. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. We're getting back in. And at the end of the month, like I had a ton of Evolving Skies stuff. So even though I couldn't get a booster box, I found a way around it. I got creative about it. And really, in the end, how many dollars did building up my Evolving Skies collection cost me? $0, right? Because we're doing the zero balance collection. So actually, had I gone out and just bought that booster box for, I would have said it would probably be 180 Canadian is what I would have paid for it. Whereas I spent much less money wheeling and dealing and with a whole bunch more cards. So we're going to dive into the spreadsheet, take a look at the month, and see exactly what happened in month number 3. All right, so month 3, diving in here, we've got our purchases here. We've got the dollar amount, the number of cards in the lot, or I'm just going to expand this out a bit, and the approximate price per card. And again, always the price per card is kind of our metric for comparison. What is the price per card that we pay? What is the price per card that we buy? And as long as the price per card that we're buying ends up being cheaper than what we're price per card selling, it ends up being profitable. So what we've got here is I met up with a guy named Armando who was selling quite a bit of bulk on Facebook Marketplace. So 1,200 cards for 160 bucks. It ended up being 13 cents per card, which is typically much higher than I would like to pay for bulk. I mean, I like to max out at 10 cents a card. And even then, you can see that's pretty high because that's almost what I sell it for, right? So 13 cents a card was pretty high, but here's the thing is that a lot of it was Evolving Skies. Quite a bit of it was holo as well, so I was happy to pay a little bit extra for to be able to increase the number of holo cards for my collection in terms of working on completing sets. So it was super good. And then I also connected with a collector named Dan, and he's a completionist. Like, he goes back all the way to the beginning. He's always buying cards, has tons of stuff, and so typically what I do is I buy his dregs more or less. It's always good condition stuff. Like, he goes through and is like very, very detailed in terms of the quality. So the great part is if this goes in my collection, I know it's good quality stuff. If I'm selling it to someone else, I know it's good quality as well. I don't have to go through and pick through the condition as well. So again, 8 cents a card, fantastic price, right? Especially for the quality of the cards. Like, it's the generations go back. Like, it's XY and sometimes previous, but also like Sun and Moon. So you can tell, some of that stuff could have playware if you're buying out collections from people. So it's not pack fresh or anything like that. But the stuff that Dan gives me, of course, is pretty close to that, just because he's very particular about the condition, which I am as well. So that's great. And then I ended up, Armando connected me and said, hey man, I've got more cards. I'd rather not list them. I'd rather just sell them to you. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I'm in. And this is the thing. If you build relationships with people who are buying collections, or people who are buying booster boxes and opening them and keeping the good cards and selling off the bulk, they'll come to you first. So you won't have to go jam in looking for these deals. You can just they'll message you and say, do you want to buy some stuff? So it makes it a lot easier. Instead of having to hunt, you can just, when you need some cards, you just message the person and say, hey man, do you have anything? And they're like, yeah, great. So then, yeah, it's like I bought another lot from Dan as well. And then here is, of course, my PokéRev lot. $0 for a booster box of cards. You can't go wrong with that. So yeah, I'm super jazzed and pumped about that as well. So through the course of the month, I spent $610 on cards. 8,615 cards is what I bought. Approximate price per card, 7 cents a card. So I just want to actually point out, because if we go back to August here, you'll see that I ended the month with a profit of $125. And in the past videos, I think I've said, and I started the next month with $125 in my pocket. That's not necessarily the case. This is kind of like a running total. So it's not like I had $125 to start, because you can see the very first transaction I did was $160. So it's this ongoing rolling total, because I'm buying and selling at the same time, right? So I'm going to have this fluctuated number. So the spreadsheet just makes it look at like that. So for example, you can see it looks like my profit for the entire month was just $35, because I did throughout the course of the month sell $645 worth of cards, to kind of necessitate, or to be able to have $610 worth of purchases. So anyways, overall, the month, the sales I did, average of 10 cents per card. I just found I had a ton of cards, so I was selling them for pretty cheap. You can see 7 cents each, 10 cents each. I try to get 15 to 20 cents a card. Like, I create premium packs for people to buy. So usually it's in that range. But if I've just got a ton of stuff, I just want to bulk sell it as well. Give some deals to people too. So all in all, it's still, I sold for a higher price than what I purchased for. So that's great. Throughout the month, there was a end of month profit of $35. So overall, it's still good. It's still profitable. I still have lots of cards in my collection in this month, so I'm happy with that. And just recapping the collection side of things, so I've updated the totals for September here, just in terms of completions for my expansion sets that I'm working on completing. So we can see that Evolving Skies, this is the first month that's in there. It's 40% complete already, right? So that's great. Again, for a guy who thought I wasn't going to get any booster boxes, thought I was going to have 0 Evolving Skies cards in my collection, boom, 40% completion, which is pretty solid. We can see these numbers have definitely increased quite a bit. Like Sword and Shield has increased as well. Added some Rebel Clash to the collection and so on. Champion's Path, tough one to find. I don't really have any dreams of completing that one anytime soon. It's going to be a bit of a beast. Shining Fates, I think, is also going to be a bit of a tougher one. There's tons of bulk, because everyone was opening just tons and tons and tons of Shiny Fates. Like, the amount of Shiny Fates bulk that I have is just unbelievable. So finding the actual, like, any of the holo cards and the shiny cards for a reasonable price is going to be definitely challenging as well. But anyways, that is the collection totals for the month number. So month 3 was rolling pretty well, right? Like, now we've got a good system, you know, month 1, month 2, month 3. I've got a pretty good idea of what types of products, you know, parents are looking for. Again, I said, like, my target market is parents. I'm not really selling to collectors because I'm kind of keeping a lot of the good cards. I'm not going to be selling singles because I just don't have the time for that one-off transaction for just, you know, selling singles. So it's bulk cards with you know, some holos, some holo rares, some V cards going to parents because they're the ones right now who are buying bulk cards because they can't find them on the shelf. So I'm kind of helping getting that back into the market there. So anyways, if you want to follow along, you want to, you know, kind of do what I do, watch videos 1, 2, and 3, subscribe to the channel, get those notifications going so that you can kind of see what's happening next, get more ideas. As we kind of go through and as I learn, I'll help you guys out and teach you. But overall, it's been, I don't see this really going terrible at all in terms of the financial side. In terms of the hoarding side, I'm feeling it. Like, there are times where I feel like I've got so many cards kicking around here that it's becomes almost like an administration nightmare in terms of, like, organizing things and selling it. So getting a little shaky and sketchy on that side, but as far as, like, the financials go, it's good. You know, I'm building up a collection. It's not costing me anything, so that's good. So anyways, thanks for watching. You guys are awesome.